All right, today we are going deep into the heart of Kinshasa. Now, this is one of Africa's fastest growing megacities, but we're going to look past the usual headlines. We're going to spend a day exploring its hidden rhythm, the huge challenges it faces, and most importantly, the incredible ingenuity of its people that somehow keeps it all moving. So let's just dive right in. This quote right here, it really nails what makes Kinshasa tick. The city is just this massive paradox. It works, but not because of its official systems. It works in spite of them, or really in their absence. Its survival is, well, it's a daily testament to the pure creativity of its residents, the Kinoi, as they're called. Okay, first, let's just try to wrap our heads around this scale here. We're talking about a city with nearly 18 million people. That's huge. And it's expanding at this just dizzying rate. Get this, an estimated 61 people arrive every single hour. And here's the kicker, they're not always coming for economic opportunity. A lot of the time, they're fleeing insecurity out in the rural areas. So you take that massive population and then you look at this number, 75%. A staggering 3/4 of Kinshasa's residents live in what you'd call informal settlements. And look, this isn't just some dry statistic. This is the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. It means for the vast majority of people, life happens completely outside of formal structures. It's a world built on pure improvisation and hustle. Okay, so let's start our day. How does a city this big even wake up? Well, the morning is all about one thing, the hustle. It's this massive, synchronized push to get moving, to get to work, and to kickstart the whole day's economy. And the key to all that movement? It's the wiwa. Think about it. There's no reliable public transport, and the traffic jams are just legendary. So these informal motorcycle taxis, they are the absolute lifeblood of the city. Without them, Kinshasa would literally grind to a halt. They're fast, they're cheap, and they can weave through traffic like nothing else. They aren't just useful, they are completely essential. But of course, the reality for a Weiwa driver is, well, it's tough. The whole thing is completely unregulated. And this is where you see that paradox again, right? The Weiwa are so vital, you literally can't stop them, but they're also technically illegal in some parts of the city. And that sheer necessity, it forces a lot of people, even kids, to start driving. I mean, take the story of Bienvenu. He's 16 years old. He started driving one of these after his uncle lost his formal job. And now his whole family depends on the $1.50 or so he makes every day. And Bienvenu's story, it's really a perfect window into the city's bigger economic picture. You see, formal jobs are just incredibly scarce. And even if you're lucky enough to have one, you might be making just $100 to $400 a month. I mean, how do you survive on that? You can't. And that's what forces pretty much everyone into the informal hustle. We're talking over 80% of all jobs. This isn't a side gig. This is the main engine of Kinshasa's economy. All right, so the morning rush is over, and we're heading into the midday grind. And this is when the city's deeper, more systemic problems really start to show. This is where that quinoa's ingenuity we talked about gets tested to its absolute limits. Okay, check this out. This chart just powerfully shows you the city's deep, deep inequality. Let's talk about water. In the wealthy central area, Gombe, the average person uses over 300 liters a day. Makes sense. But then you go out to a poorer area like Kimbenseke, and that number drops to just 2 liters. Let that sink in. 2 liters. It's like two completely different worlds living side by side in the same city. And you know what? These failures, they're not isolated. They're all connected in this dangerous domino effect. Here's how it works. The city makes about 8,000 tons of waste every day, but less than 10% actually gets collected. So what happens to the rest? Well, a lot of it clogs the drains, which causes massive floods. Then the floods damage the old power grid. That causes blackouts, which in turn stops the pumps that supply the water. See? A failure in one system just triggers a total cascade of failures in all the others. It's wild. So with all of this going on, this daily struggle, how do people keep going? I mean, how do you fuel that hustle? Well, for a lot of people, the answer is right there on the street. The street food economy is yet another one of these informal systems that is just absolutely essential. It provides cheap, fast energy for the entire city's workforce. And we're talking about everything from these amazing grilled kebabs called brochettes to the national dish, Moamba chicken. But look, this is way more than just a meal. This is the affordable, accessible fuel that keeps that informal engine of the city running day in and day out. Now, as the workday winds down, something else starts to come to life, a deeper kind of resilience. In the evening, Kinshasa's vibrant cultural soul really emerges. And it's not just about entertainment. It's a powerful answer to the hardships of the day. This is where identity gets forged and where people find their voice. And there is no better example of this, none, than La Sape. This is this incredible cultural movement of high-fashion dandies. They're called sapeurs. But trust me, this is about so much more than just fancy clothes. It's a full-on public performance of dignity, elegance, and attitude. And La Sape has some seriously deep political roots. Back in the 70s, President Mobutu's regime actually banned European clothing. He was pushing this state-defined idea of authenticity. So what did the sapeurs do? They resisted by defiantly wearing these sharp-tailored suits and designer labels. And today, think about it, in a city with so much hardship, dressing like this, it's a powerful statement. It's like an investment in your own dignity, a way of reclaiming your self-worth when everything else is trying to take it away. You find that exact same spirit in the city's music. Congolese rumba is the soundtrack of Kinshasa. But it's more than just a sound. It's practically a social institution. The lyrics, the way people sing along, it creates this kind of unofficial public square, you know? It's a way for people's real concerns, their frustrations, and their hopes to get out there when the official political channels just aren't listening. And this resilience we're talking about, it's not just cultural, it's deeply entrepreneurial. Let me tell you about Venus Madumba. She was a trained seamstress, but she was on the verge of poverty. So she joined the social protection program, got some training, and a tiny startup grant, just $100. With that $100, she bought 2 used sewing machines. Fast forward to today. She owns 8 of them, she supports her entire family, and she trains over 30 apprentices every single year. Her story is just incredible proof of how a small strategic investment can unlock just immense human potential. Okay, so let's start pulling all these threads together. What is the real engine of Kinshasa? It's pretty clear that to get this city, you have to look past the usual crisis narrative. You have to see the complex, surprisingly functional systems that people have built for themselves. So here's the bottom line. Kinshasa is a city of parallel realities. The informal market isn't a sideshow, it is the economy. Life is uncertain, for sure, but that very uncertainty is what fuels all this entrepreneurship. And here's something you might not expect. Mobile connectivity is super high, so apps like WhatsApp become substitutes for public services. And with no real state welfare system, it's the churches and faith-based groups that provide that crucial social safety net. And all of this leaves us with a really big question, a provocative thought to end on. As these massive megacities, cities just like Kinshasa, continue to pop up and grow all over the world, what does their future actually look like? Is it going to be built on top-down, formal government plans and shiny infrastructure projects? Or is the real future of the city forged from the ground up, built on the incredible, adaptive, and powerful informal systems that people create for themselves every single day?